Syria, the country shattered, its people engulfed in conflict, its neighbors bearing a brutal burden.
1,000 days of conflict, the great tragedy of this century. In Jordan, a refugee camp rises from the desert, sheltering tens of thousands of Syrians.
In Lebanon, rural and urban refugees live where they can, clustered in tents or abandoned buildings.
In Turkey, 21 camps in 10 provinces, 200,000 Syrian refugees, and thousands more living outside the camps.
In northern Iraq, these Syrians find refuge in a park. Egypt, where more and more Syrians seek safety or a route to Europe. More than 2 million refugees. Syria is hemorrhaging women, children, and men.
And inside Syria, over 6 million displaced.
More than half the human flood leaving Syria are children. 1 million children, 70% under the age of 12. Children like little Holler, only 3 days old when her family fled to Iraq. Or 4-year-old Sahad, her face scarred, but her life saved. Or Aya, whose hope is to go to school. Or Abdullah, who works to feed his family. The tide does not subside. Last August, over 40,000 refugees crossed a temporary pontoon bridge in northern Iraq in just 1 week.
More recently in Aqsa, Lebanon, 6,000 new arrivals in a matter of days. In Jordan, refugees flooded in an overnight crossing. Borders are overflowing.
Support is critical and critically needed for communities hosting so many refugees. Neighboring countries have shown great generosity, but the strain on economies, on infrastructures, is acute. Water, food, education, healthcare, housing. This crisis requires more than life-saving humanitarian aid. It urgently needs robust economic development to help host countries cope. Across the region, the sense of a future has been broken. Life now is reduced to survival and waiting for peace and a path home.